Lee Roloff. He helped form the Jung Institute, or the Jungian community in South Africa during the time of apartheid and all of that. And he came back and he gave me a poster that had a white Afrikaner and a black Afrikaner. And one had their arms around the other from behind, and they were smiling at the camera. And then it's that quote by Jung that goes something like, "And what if I was to find that," I'm making it up, but it's the essence of it. What if one was to find that the thief, the I don't know, the murderer, the criminal, the whatever, the other was within me? What then? Because it's so easy when you project it out, make somebody else a scapegoat or another group the scapegoat. But when you have to go, if that, like you were saying, is within me, I can't expel it. It where does it go? It's part of my psyche. And I need to take up some relation and hear what this is, who this is, what they want. Oftentimes in your psyche, you have that thief, or the burglar, or the menacing other trying to break into your home, which is this image of how we resist the new, the strange, the foreign. One time I had an extraterrestrial reach in through a window. All I saw was the arm, and the arm came in, and you really realize if we're sitting here and suddenly an alien arm actually reaches over from outside on the balcony into our living real, not Men in Black movie world, but in our living reality, this foreign alien comes reaching in. I mean, why did you come to disturb us?
Yes.
And then I go into
it changes everything.
I go into this giant fireplace, and inside the fireplace is an inner room. And and I'm in there, and so you think again. Once you encounter that, again, it's a call to go within and cook, and make yourself maybe the fuel itself. Burn in there, get in touch with what is descending too. It's not just going up. It's maybe not even Santa. There's that Jung quote. If the ego, something like, if the ego is inadequately prepared, and the Godhead descends, it comes into a straw hut, and everything goes up, which would be like that guy who called himself question mark in Virginia Tech, as opposed to being a tabernacle that can hold the descent of the God. And instead of making the God reduced to this small ego-serving something, which doesn't work really, because then it sneaks up and possesses you, the Godhead. How can you make yourself the proper receptacle so that the God can, or the gods can descend and work their manifestation within your humanity, including all the dark sides? Because again, like if we use the Greek myths, they're not necessarily bad, any pathology of any god. Don Slaggy, a Jungian here in LA, he often refers to a thing in von Franz, C.G. Jung's A Myth of Our Time, where you see the Catholic Church did the doctrine of the Assumption of Mary.
Yes.
And there's an alchemical image where you see that coronation of Mary in heaven, taking her place up with the Trinity, but underneath is being pulled up a sort of hermetic monstrosity. And Slaggy says, as all of this is going up, now comes, we must make conscious all that mixture of darkness, of power, of all that, the repressed stuff.
Yes.
And take it up consciously. And that's the task of our time.
Yes. And what, of course, is marvelous is when the bishops decided that they must allow Mary this place in the Divine Godhead, they were still talking about Mary, the pure and virgin. They didn't realize that they were inviting the goddess. And, of course, the goddess comes with the serpents and the earth and the blood and the dripping heads and the maimed, unarmed limbs and the dead children. And it's the whole works, honey. You don't get to pick and choose. Once you let the goddess in, she's in. And that is a perfect image to represent what is happening. Yes. So chaos will be unloosed. it has begun.
And it is our job now to hold these polar opposites. What is the socialist within? What is the capitalist, hardcore CEO of major 500 company raping other countries' resources to make a profit?
Right.
What is the Hillary Clinton within? The Barack Obama within? The Donald Trump within?
Right. Who is the Confederate flag-waving, gallant Southern gentleman who has just lost everything he held dear? We haven't seen the end of this. And you know who's going to be able to pick this up, if they're wise enough, are the women. Because they're going to recognize that something has absented itself from the masculine in this country. And it's everything that the South was holding up. The good old boys. You know where the word gallant comes from? That's straight out of the troubadour poetry. The gallant South. That's a troubadour image. So some part of that piece of the psyche has been held by the Southern men. So that shift, that dramatic breaking and placing of their emblems into the rag and bone shop and detritus of the heart is going to have profound consequences in terms of the relationships between the sexes, I think.
And if it's not repaired in some fashion, the feminine spirit will start dominating the entire culture, which you think, women say, well, it's about time. We've been oppressed for thousands of years, but there's gore there's carnage on all sides.
Right.
When these polarities are not
right.
in some form of balance.
And the woman has to step up to the plate and say, the gallant is in me. I am not merely the recipient of gallantry. I must be the purveyor. I must be the producer of the valiant and the gallant and the honorable and the courteous in those deep mythological meanings of those words. Otherwise, the imbalance is simply going to flip into some other arena.
Yeah.